you, Greg. Next up, I'd like to introduce Betty Schultheis, Councilwoman for Allamuchy Township in Warren County.
Good afternoon, everyone. While I wholeheartedly support the Tea Party in protest to what is happening at the national level, I'm specifically here to protest the liberal, big spending, tax increasing, anti-business, big government, socialistic, unconstitutional agenda of Governor John Corzine and his cheerleaders here in Trenton. Is anyone else here ready to protest against King's Corzine with me? We in Warren County have several things to protest. First, we'd like to protest what has happened to our farming community. Perhaps you've heard about the biggest land grab in history, the Highlands Act. Well, here's the way it worked. Our farmers in the northwest highlands of Warren County have worked the land, raising vegetables and grain to feed the public for many generations. They worked hard, expanded their farms, many opened farmers markets on their properties. The land increased in value year after year. They paid their taxes, helping our county to become prosperous. Then, on August 10th, 2004, the Highlands Act was signed, and the land was devalued. No longer could the farmers put their farmland up for collateral for a bank loan to secure funds for spring planting. No longer could they count on selling off a small parcel of their land to fund a nest egg for retirement. The legislation called for funding to pay for this land. Yet here we are, 4.5 years later, and the Highlands Council has yet to resolve how landowners will properly be compensated for their property. We are frustrated and angry that people's rights have been so cavalierly treated. Second, we are protesting the imposition of the requirements from the Council on Affordable Housing. We'd like some hard data on the occupancy levels of the existing COA housing. And we'd like someone to use some good old-fashioned common sense in looking at where the DCA wants to place these homes. Folks, Warren County is one of the reasons New Jersey is called the Garden State. We have farmland and lots of open space, and we have lots of small businesses. We do not have public transportation or big companies. So we can't provide the kind of services that are required to successfully support affordable housing. The cost of providing the affordable housing units is unaffordable for our municipalities. Someone needs to look at the cost of qualifying people for the housing, the cost of certifying consultants to handle the advertising and all of the other ridiculous costs associated with fulfilling the rules of qualifying residents for COA housing. These costs alone are extraordinarily high. Then, the numbers provided for the next round of COA housing must be justified, especially in light of the Highlands regulations, which have virtually outlawed growth in some of our communities. We're availing ourselves of the grants offered by the Highlands Council, allowing us to disprove the classification of our land. But you know, this is an arduous process that is actually duplicative of the cross-acceptance process of the state master plan that we all spent much time and a lot of taxpayer money completing only a year before the Highlands legislation was passed. This state master plan revision was totally ignored by the Highlands process. It makes us wonder if the right hand knows what the left hand is doing in Trenton. What we do know for sure is that their willy-nilly changes cost us a lot of taxpayer money. The third group of actions we take issue with are the onerous fees and employee benefits that have been forced upon small businesses. Items like the paid family leave are costly and are forcing small businesses to move to Pennsylvania. The Lehigh Valley provides tax breaks and incentives to small businesses that move there. Pennsylvania doesn't overregulate. They believe anyone smart enough and industrious enough to run their own business is probably smart enough to know how to do it and doesn't need the government to help. We're a county made up of prudently managed municipalities, and we have the least debt of the 21 counties in New Jersey. And we feel like we're under siege. When the state of New Jersey attacks both the farmers and the small business owners, that encompasses a huge percentage of our population. And our elected officials are all angry. We want answers and we want actions. We want the farmers to get a fair market price for their land. And we want some business-friendly incentives initiated before we lose all of our small businesses. What we demand is simple. We want government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Thank you.